Have you ever wondered whether you still turn heads when you walk into a room? It's a quiet question that many women ask themselves as they move through the later chapters of life. Society often sends the message that beauty belongs to the young, that attractiveness has an expiration date tied to smooth skin, a slender waistline, or the absence of gray hair. But the truth is far more empowering. Your beauty doesn't fade with time. It evolves. The way you carry yourself, the energy you bring into a space, your quiet confidence, and even the warmth in your smile can be more captivating now than ever before. Too often, mature women begin to feel invisible, as if age has taken away their ability to make an impression or feel admired. But what if the opposite were true? What if your presence has only grown stronger, more magnetic, with each year? In this video, we're going to explore 7 powerful signs that you are, in fact, a good-looking woman, even if you don't always feel that way. These signs go beyond what the mirror shows. They speak to the unique kind of beauty that only life experience can create. You may discover that the compliments you brush off or the glances you barely notice are actually quiet affirmations of the attractiveness you still hold. So stay with me until the very end, because once you recognize these signs in yourself, you'll start to see your reflection and your value in a completely new light. And who knows, you might just walk a little taller the next time you enter a room. And one of the clearest signs that you're still a striking, attractive woman, whether you realize it or not, is when people compliment your presence, not just your appearance. It might not always sound like, "You look beautiful," the way it did decades ago. Instead, you'll hear things like, "You have such a calming energy," "I love how you carry yourself," or "You're so easy to talk to." These are not small compliments. They're deeper, more enduring reflections of the kind of beauty that doesn't depend on youth. According to a 2022 study from the American Psychological Association, people over the age of 60 who are rated as having high social warmth and engaged presence are consistently perceived by others as more attractive, regardless of physical features. This means the way you interact with people, your kindness, your confidence, your emotional intelligence, leaves a lasting impression that runs deeper than surface-level beauty. Let me tell you a story about Nancy, a 68-year-old retired librarian from Oregon. Nancy never saw herself as glamorous. She didn't wear much makeup, never obsessed over fashion, and had long since stopped worrying about wrinkles. But something kept happening. Strangers would strike up conversations in grocery store lines. Young women would ask where she got her scarf or comment on her gentle tone, and people just seemed to gravitate toward her. One day at a cafe, a woman in her 30s leaned over and said, "There's something about you. It's peaceful. You have the kind of presence I hope I have when I'm your age." That moment stuck with Nancy because it wasn't about her appearance. It was about the effect she had on others. That's not something you can fake. It comes from a lifetime of showing up with grace, listening with intention, and being fully comfortable in your own skin. As we age, the world may become quieter in some ways, but your presence can speak volumes. And when it does, people notice. They feel it. The truth is, a woman who walks into a room with poise and quiet strength doesn't need to be loud or flashy to turn heads. She already does, just by being who she is. So, if you've ever received a compliment that felt more about how you made someone feel rather than just how you looked, take it as a powerful affirmation. That's not just politeness. That's presence. And presence is one of the most attractive qualities any person can have, at any age. Just as your presence speaks volumes, another unmistakable sign that you're a good-looking woman, regardless of age, is when younger people, especially women, admire your sense of style and elegance. It's easy to overlook this kind of compliment, to think it's just about the outfit you happen to throw on that day. But it goes much deeper than that. When someone younger takes notice of how you put yourself together, whether it's your clothing, your accessories, or simply the way you carry yourself, it's a clear indication that your look radiates timeless beauty. This kind of admiration is not rooted in trying to look younger, but in embracing who you are today with grace, intention, and authenticity. According to a 2023 survey by AARP, over 70% of women over 60 say they dress for themselves, not to impress others, but to express how they feel inside. And interestingly, younger generations are starting to take note. Many Gen Z and millennial women report looking to older women for fashion inspiration, especially those who carry themselves with self-assured elegance. This admiration isn't about copying your exact style. It's about respecting the quiet confidence your look conveys. Take someone like Elaine, a 71-year-old former art teacher from North Carolina. Elaine never followed fast fashion or chased trends, but she always took pride in her appearance. She favored clean lines, flowing fabrics, bold scarves, and simple yet striking jewelry. One afternoon, while browsing a boutique, a teenage girl tapped her on the shoulder and said, "I just wanted to say, you look amazing. I hope I look like you when I'm older." Elaine smiled politely, but inside she was surprised. She hadn't dressed to impress anyone. She'd just worn what made her feel good, and that's exactly why it worked. Because real style doesn't scream, it whispers confidence. It's not about hiding your age. It's about highlighting who you are now. When younger people admire you, it's a powerful affirmation that elegance transcends generations. They see in you a kind of grounded beauty that only comes from years of knowing yourself. Your clothes don't have to be expensive. Your accessories don't have to be trendy. What matters is that they reflect you. A well-fitted blazer, a thoughtful color choice, or a perfectly chosen pair of earrings can do more than just look nice. They can tell a story of identity, confidence, and quiet sophistication. So, the next time a younger woman asks where you bought your scarf or says she loves your look, don't dismiss it. Recognize it as proof that your beauty is still making an impact and maybe even shaping someone else's idea of what it means to age gracefully. That in itself is stunning. Building on that, another powerful sign that your beauty still shines brightly is how people respond when you speak, specifically when they make genuine eye contact and truly listen. While it's easy to think of attractiveness as something visual, there's an undeniable allure in the way a woman carries a conversation. If you've noticed that people tend to focus on you when you talk, that their eyes stay on yours, and they seem genuinely interested in your words, you're witnessing a deeper kind of magnetism, one that goes beyond looks and into presence. Studies from Princeton University have shown that strong eye contact and active listening behaviors are instinctive responses to perceived charisma and attractiveness. This means when people lock eyes with you, lean in slightly and respond thoughtfully to what you say. It's not just about being polite, it's about being captivated by your presence. Take someone like Gloria, a 74-year-old former counselor from Colorado. Gloria had a soft voice and an even softer demeanor, but people always listened when she spoke. At gatherings, even in groups where she barely knew anyone, conversations naturally drifted toward her. Once, while volunteering at a local shelter, a younger volunteer confessed, "There's something calming about you. When you talk, it's like everything else fades out." Gloria wasn't trying to command attention. She simply knew how to be fully present. She made people feel heard, and in return, they leaned in to hear her. That's beauty in its most understated, powerful form. In a world full of distractions, the ability to hold someone's attention is rare. And when it happens effortlessly, it's because there's something about you that invites trust, respect, and emotional connection. These are the qualities people are truly drawn to, especially as we age and our relationships deepen beyond surface-level interactions. The University of California found in a 2020 study that people over 60 who displayed consistent empathetic presence were rated as more attractive, both socially and emotionally, than younger individuals who lacked it. That means your ability to speak thoughtfully, listen actively, and express yourself with quiet confidence actually enhances how others see you, far more than any wrinkle cream ever could. So, if you've ever caught someone watching you a little longer as you share a story, if conversations seem to pause when you speak, or if others often remark on how graceful, clear, or wise your words are, don't overlook it. These are signs that your inner beauty is shining through in every interaction. It's not about dominating a room. It's about being the kind of woman who, when she speaks, people can't help but listen. And that kind of presence is unforgettable. So if you've ever found yourself in a conversation where people pause, truly listen, and seem to hang on your every word, take that as a beautiful sign that your presence speaks louder than appearance ever could. And if this resonates with you, I'd love to hear about it. Have you noticed this happening in your own life? Drop a comment below and share your story. If this message reminds you of a woman you admire, send it to her. You never know how much it might mean. And while you're here, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you can keep receiving reminders of the strength and beauty you already carry. Along those same lines, another subtle yet powerful indicator of your lasting attractiveness is when people take the time to compliment specific features, like your skin, your hair, or even your posture. These may seem like small acknowledgments, but they carry deeper meaning than many women realize, especially as we grow older. Compliments like, "Your skin is glowing, I love your silver hair," or "You have such a graceful way of standing," are not just casual remarks. They are signs that others see you as someone who radiates health, vitality, and confidence. In fact, according to a 2021 study published by the Journal of Aging and Health, individuals who maintain a positive self-image and exhibit physical vitality, even through simple posture and grooming, are consistently rated as more attractive by peers of all ages. This suggests that people are drawn to signs of self-respect and care, not just traditional youthfulness. Take Irene, for instance, a 70-year-old yoga instructor from Arizona. Irene never set out to look young. She simply prioritized wellness and felt most herself when she moved freely and dressed in what made her comfortable. Her long silver hair was always tied in a neat bun, her posture tall and grounded. One morning after class, a woman in her 40s came up to her and said, "I just have to say, your skin is beautiful. It has this natural glow. What's your secret?" Irene smiled and replied, "Hydration, sunscreen, and being kind to myself." That moment stuck with her, not because of vanity, but because it reminded her that care shows. Her skin, her posture, her hair, none of it was meant to impress, but it did. Because she embodied a kind of quiet elegance that others could feel. These details, how you stand, how you care for your body, how you style your hair, send a message before you ever say a word. They communicate that you value yourself, that you show up for yourself every day, and that message resonates. It tells people you're vibrant, engaged with life, and fully present. According to dermatologists at the Mayo Clinic, skin health in older adults is closely tied to overall wellness. Hydration, sleep, stress management, and daily movement all contribute to that glow people often notice. Similarly, posture is a visual signal of strength and well-being. Researchers at Harvard found that people who stand and move with upright posture are more likely to be perceived as confident, capable, and, yes, attractive. So, if you've ever received a compliment on your skin's radiance, the elegance of your silver strands, or how you move with ease and grace, take it as confirmation. These aren't surface-level observations. They're reflections of how others see your beauty in motion. You don't need to look younger to be beautiful. You just need to keep showing up as the vibrant, intentional, self-caring woman you are. That kind of beauty doesn't fade. It deepens. And just as people notice the glow of your skin or the grace in your posture, they also notice something even more powerful: your confidence. In fact, one of the most undeniable signs that you are still an attractive woman is the respect and admiration others show you simply because of the way you carry yourself. Confidence is magnetic. It's not loud or showy. It's calm, steady, and deeply rooted in self-acceptance. When people treat you with reverence, seek your opinions, or seem to admire how self-assured you are, it's not just about what you've done in life, it's about how you show up now. According to a study published in Psychology and Aging by the American Psychological Association, women over 60 who display strong self-confidence are perceived as more influential, more engaging, and yes, more attractive. by both men and women across age groups. Why? Because confidence signals inner stability, and that's something people are instinctively drawn to. Take a story of Joan, a 73-year-old retired business consultant from Illinois. Joan never felt the need to dress for attention, but she always walked with purpose. She spoke clearly, smiled often, and had a way of making people feel like they mattered. At a recent wedding, a younger woman approached her and said, "You have such a powerful presence. I watched you from across the room and thought, that's the kind of woman I want to be someday." Joan laughed, a bit surprised. She wasn't trying to be anything special, she was just being herself. But that's exactly what made her unforgettable. The way she stood, the ease in her movement, the way she engaged in conversation without rushing or apologizing, it all came from years of knowing her worth. The truth is, when you feel good about who you are, it shows. You don't have to say a word. Your confidence walks ahead of you, and others feel that. Whether it's at a dinner party, a casual gathering, or just chatting with someone at the store, people pick up on the strength behind your quiet smile, the steadiness in your voice, and the unapologetic way you hold space. It inspires trust, admiration, and even affection. A 2022 Pew Research report found that older adults who exude personal confidence are more likely to be described by others as graceful, radiant, and authentic. Words typically reserved for beauty, but in this case, driven entirely by attitude. So, if you've noticed that people respect your presence, turn to you for advice, or respond to you with a kind of admiration that feels deeper than surface compliments, believe it. That's your beauty speaking through confidence. And confidence isn't something you lose with age, it's something you gain. When you embrace who you are, fully, proudly, and without apology, you don't just look attractive, you become unforgettable. And building on that kind of quiet, self-assured confidence, there's another sign that reveals just how truly attractive you are. It's the way people feel in your presence. More than just looks or style, your warmth and natural charisma are what make others feel at ease, drawn in, and deeply connected to you. This kind of presence can't be faked or forced. It comes from a lifetime of compassion, self-awareness, and the ability to make others feel seen. When people are comfortable opening up to you, when conversations flow effortlessly, or when others gravitate toward you in a room without even knowing why, that's not coincidence. That's the magnetic power of emotional beauty. In a 2020 study from the University of California, researchers found that emotional warmth, characterized by empathy, active listening, and a calming demeanor, was one of the strongest predictors of perceived attractiveness in adults over 60. In fact, participants rated warmth and ease of communication higher than physical appearance when asked what made someone beautiful. That means your smile, your tone, the way you make someone feel like the only person in the room. These are traits that captivate. Think of Carol, a 70-year-old retired nurse from Vermont. Carol didn't think of herself as particularly striking. She wore simple clothes, rarely wore makeup, and preferred quiet settings. But everywhere she went, people were drawn to her. Neighbors stopped by just to talk. Grandchildren opened up to her like she was their best friend. At her local library's book club, a woman once said, "You have this way of making a room feel safe. You don't even have to say much. It's just you." That moved Carol deeply. She realized then that her value didn't lie in turning heads with appearance. It was in making hearts feel at home. That is beauty that transcends time. And here's the emotional truth. People remember how you make them feel. Years from now, someone might forget the color of your dress or the lines on your face, but they'll never forget how deeply seen and comforted they felt in your company. That's not a surface-level compliment. That's soul-level beauty. And it's often strongest in women who've lived long enough to know what really matters. Kindness, listening, sharing space without judgment. If you've ever been told you have a calming presence, if people seek you out for comfort or feel naturally uplifted just by being near you, know that this isn't accidental. It's a reflection of your light, your life, your wisdom. So don't underestimate that gift. Warmth, after all, is one of the most unforgettable forms of beauty there is. And perhaps most telling of all, after the warmth you share and the presence you bring, is that moment you catch someone stealing a glance at you. Quiet, fleeting, but unmistakable. It's that lingering look across a cafe, the second glance in a grocery aisle, or the warm smile from someone as you walk by. These moments aren't about vanity, they're about recognition. They're silent acknowledgments that your beauty still turns heads, not because you're trying to, but because it radiates from within. There's something magnetic about a woman who moves through the world with self-possession, who isn't chasing attention but still receives it effortlessly. According to a study by the University of Chicago in 2021, people over 60 who display natural self-confidence and relaxed body language are more likely to be perceived as attractive by strangers in social environments, often without saying a single word. In fact, many participants describe their most captivating encounters with older adults as those marked by subtlety, presence, and mystery. Consider Linda, a 69-year-old retired literature professor from Washington. She always dressed simply, well-tailored slacks, a favorite soft blouse, silver earrings that caught the light just enough but never tried to stand out. Yet wherever she went, people noticed her. Once, while waiting for a coffee, a man about her age turned to her and said, "I hope this doesn't sound odd, but you have the most dignified beauty." I couldn't help but look. Linda was caught off guard. Not because she hadn't heard compliments before, but because this one wasn't about trying to look young, it was about being fully herself. That glance, that comment, said everything. Beauty doesn't belong to the past. It evolves, and it stays with you. The truth is, when you feel good in your own skin, when you walk with ease, wear what makes you feel like you, and show up with no need for approval, that's when people truly notice. The world may not shout it out loud, but it whispers in glances, in kind smiles, in the way people's eyes linger just a little longer than expected. And those whispers are powerful. They are reminders that your light still shines, and perhaps even brighter now that it's fueled by wisdom, grace, and lived experience. If you've ever caught someone looking at you with admiration, whether subtle or bold, let it sink in. Don't brush it off. That moment isn't just about how you look. It's about the impression you make simply by being present. So own it. Because when someone steals a glance at you, they're seeing more than beauty. They're seeing a woman who has become entirely, unapologetically herself. And that, without question, is captivating. And when you take a step back and reflect on these 7 signs, something powerful becomes clear. Your beauty hasn't disappeared with time. It has simply transformed into something deeper, more magnetic, and more meaningful. It's in your presence, your style, your voice, your posture, your confidence, your warmth, and the way others can't help but glance your way. These are not accidents or lucky moments. They are reflections of the life you've lived and the woman you've become. You don't need to look like you did at 25 to be stunning today. In fact, the beauty you carry now has a richness that youth could never touch. So the next time you question how the world sees you, remember this: the world notices. People feel your presence. They admire your elegance. They respect your confidence. And they are drawn to the quiet light you shine without even trying. That is the kind of beauty that doesn't fade. It evolves. And it's yours. If this video helped you see yourself in a new light, let us know in the comments. Which of these signs did you recognize in yourself? What have others noticed about you that you may have overlooked? We'd love to hear your thoughts and your story. And if you found this message uplifting, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video like this one. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us continue to create content that inspires and celebrates you. Thank you for watching, and until next time, walk tall, speak kindly, and never forget just how radiant you truly are. See you in the next video.